Oha.
Stream starting soon. Doggies. Wollt ihr auch einen Happen?
Was, Alex, so? Ja, glaub schon. Müsste eigentlich.
Timeout.
Reboot. Ah. Oh, es geht los, los. 10.
9, 8, 7, 6,
5, 4, 3,
4,
2, 1.
2, 1. Let's go! Ich liebe euch.
Bilder.
Boah, diese Füße.
We were here long before the traveler. They forgot that they need us. But they are fated to remember. I will remind you.
Digga.
I'm sure you will. But not through me. Find someone else.
Was?
Digga, was?
My will is my own.
Was? Oder? Hä?
Die hat einfach ihre Haut abgelegt.
Here to Bungie HQ in beautiful Bellevue, Washington.
Die 19 Hüter.
Ja. To tell you a little bit about the Edge of Fate and the future of Destiny 2 as well. My name's Andy. I work on the social media team here, but no need to worry. As always, I am joined by some of my amazing colleagues here at Bungie to share some of the finer details of the stuff that we're going to be going into today. So, I thought we'd go ahead and get into it so we can show you what we got. Starting first with this gentleman on my right and to your left.
Es kommt eine andere Nein Event da so.
I'm doing great, Andy. It's always a pleasure to spend a date with you.
Yeah, it's been a nice time, honestly, hasn't it? Yeah, well, always. To that end as well, for anyone that doesn't get to hang.
Presse ich ein Besen.
Tell everyone at home a little bit about yourself and what you do here.
Bessen, meinst du?
I'm creative and game directors for the game, so that means like I'm a vision holder and I work across the entire Destiny team with people like Allison and Dylan on the couch here to chart a new course for Destiny and a new future for the game, and just incredibly excited to be sharing with everyone today of what we've been up to.
Yeah, can't wait. We've got a big show ahead, so thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, as we move, right on down the line, someone who again has also had the good opportunity to join us on these streams as well, and is now firing some finger guns like a pro. Destiny's narrative director, the one and only Allison Lures.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going so good. I'm here on a couch and I get to yell about Destiny with you. So
Not
it's a good day.
Yeah, honestly, I'll take that anytime I can. Well,
Same.
for anyone who also hasn't had a chance to yell on couches about Destiny
Ja, was
with
ist
us
das
or hasn't
denn?
joined us in the past,
Yeah.
do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Allison. I'm the narrative director for Destiny 2, and so that means it's the job of me and my team to make you laugh and make you cry and make you go, whoa, I totally forgot about this thing from 8 years ago. How did they remember? It's because we're good at our jobs.
Skip.
As someone who gets to sit in on the writers' room.
With Gameplay.
So thank you for
Having you there.
so much fun. No, seriously, thank you so much. And
Boah,
of
ist
course,
Ballen.
the gentleman at the very end of the couch is someone who
Ihr seid mal wieder wild unterwegs.
known far and wide, a member of the global games team here at Bungie, Mr. Dylan Gaffner. How's it going, Dylan?
Geil.
Doing well. How are you, Andy?
Doing so well. Thank you so much.
Boah.
Make sure to ask every time.
I appreciate it. You need all the help I can get. Well, to anyone out there who may not have accosted you on the wild world of social media or is just somehow meeting you for the first time, do you mind telling us about what you do here? at
Prost,
Bungie?
jo.
My name is Dylan Gaffner, formerly community team.
Entschuldigung.
Beruhigen Sie sich.
To the dev team and then bring the information back to you.
Digga, was ist mit dir?
Now I'm on Global.com, so I'm going to be more of like a puzzle piece organization.
Geil.
What do we talk about? When do we talk about it? Why do we talk about it? And then just making sure we get the information out to all players.
Yeah, well, we all appreciate it. Thank you for always being the voice of
Der wollte
the
nicht.
hallowed halls. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, now that we've kind of got the intros out of the way, let's talk about our new saga. Robbie, I'd love to start with you. What's up next in Destiny, and where are we exploring?
Yeah, so our first expansion this year, The Edge of Fate, is the start
Oha, danke für den
saga called
Sub,
The Fates.
Leon.
And so
Mensch.
we want to tell a story about something older, about the nature of fate itself. Are we bound by it? Can we fight it? Because before the Traveler ever arrived in our solar system, there was already space magic here, Andy.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, this is a story that we're going to explore one of Destiny's biggest mysteries and the mysteries of the universe itself.
Im ersten Monat, Mensch.
Aren't you?
Who
Yeah.
told you?
I think it's
Subtle, right?
Ah, danke ja, danke.
Ist mal der
Good
Träger.
job with this secret.
Buried the lead, didn't we?
yeah, just a little bit.
That's, but I mean, to that end, so who and maybe more appropriately, what are the Nine?
Yeah, so buckle up. In the simplest description possible, the Nine are
Jetzt ein Jumpscare wär
extraordinarily
crazy.
powerful beings that have been in the
Zum Glück habe ich
solar
ausgestellt.
system way longer than the Traveler. We can think of them as being kind of connected to each of the major celestial bodies in Sol.
Feet.
Each of our 8 planets plus the Sun. Sorry, Pluto.
It's messed
Oh,
up.
diese Füße, ne? Boah.
I don't make the rules. There you go.
Boah.
But the important thing to know about them is that this is why we're going to be so focused on the solar system for
What,
the
what?
next saga. We want to ask questions about our home that we've never asked before.
Yeah. So when it comes to the Nine, obviously, Eagle-Eyed Guardians have been able to spot references to them for quite some time, whether it be outright ominous or a straight-up game show in some cases. Can you tell us a little bit maybe about what we
Ah,
can expect?
Wird ja richtig die Kerl
You're gonna be
runtergemacht.
surprised.
Ah.
We're, like
Hmm?
you said, the lore of the Nine really ranges from like Star Horse infinitely neighing to the Nine doing genuinely awful things in our lore. And so the important thing to know about them is that the Nine are individuals. This isn't a
Yeah.
collective. It's not like a hive mind. Each of them are kind of their own being, their own person in the loose definition of a person. They have different wants and desires. They can ally with different members and fight with different members too. In the words of one of our characters really early on, there are aliens, and then there's aliens, and then there are aliens, and that latter one is what the Nine are qualified as.
Ah, okay, Aliens. Habt ihr verstanden? Aliens.
The Guardians have gone toe-to-toe with in the past.
Ich dachte Roboter.
Against the very embodiment
Aliens.
itself. What could be tougher?
Helldivers.
Yeah, so this is something that we think about a lot about because ultimately the Nine seek to free themselves at no matter the cost to humanity. And because they're extra dimensional in the ways that Allison are describing, they're not bound by the same rules that we are, that we've really experienced before in the game today. And so humanity and the Guardians, to many of them, are ultimately just bugs that can be squashed on, that they don't really care or think about beyond achieving their ultimate goals. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, for the last 10 years, Guardians have really just been making their own fate.
Yeah.
I mean, so the Nine is challenging that. How are we going to deal with it?
Yeah, whether we like it or not, the Nine have a plan for us. And like you said, Guardians are really good at making their own fate and going out and deciding who they want to be. But what happens when them deciding to make our own fate
Ist das
exactly what
Lego?
our fate is? Like, what if that was the plan all along? These are
Nee.
extra-dimensional beings. That means they perceive our reality
Wollte aber so eine
in a very
Bungee-Tasse haben.
different way and can
Sieht echt
interact
cool aus.
with it in a very different way.
Kannst du dir kaufen.
Move ahead.
Pete Passen wird dir danken.
Kostet Quanta 20 Euro die Tasse.
230 Euro für diese Collectors Edition wieder, ne?
driving this car. We know where we're going with it. But the conclusion of the Edge of Fate itself is going to leave you with more questions than answers, and it's going to be the catalyst into this new multi-year saga. Because we really want to return Destiny to being a game about big questions, right? And so the way we think about
Das sieht ein bisschen heruntergekommen aus.
speculation engine of the game. So we're gonna be revealing a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts, and many of them we're not going to be answering immediately because we're going to be telling the story over multiple expansions, and we're going to be giving you those expansion beats
Und Döner
more
weggestunken.
times than we have before in the past. And so the Year of Prophecy kicks off with the Fate Saga, and with it, humanity is now set on a
Was soll ich machen?
this celestial pantheon of the system that has been here for a very, very long time.
Pantheon.
The Edge of Fate launches on July 15th. And then the second expansion of our Year of Prophecy is Renegades.
Hashtag.
Nein, 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 nein. Beruhigen Sie sich.
We've got Shattered Cycle and The Alchemist. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah. A lot of exciting beats. And so again, the Edge of Fate is just the beginning of this long journey of this awesome vehicle we're all jumping into and driving together, and it's going to take us to some new places.
That's exciting. So, with regards to the Edge of Fate right here,
Nee, lass mal.
you were also nice enough to bring the class something today. You've got some gameplay with you,
Oh
right?
yeah, we got some clips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should.
Wir haben Clips, okay.
Make the present. Let's check it out.
Dann. Oha. Hallo, Fresse halten.
War da gerade das Star Wars Schiff?
Oha. Digga, warum flackert das hier? Okay, das sieht cool aus.
Das sah satisfying aus. Was ist das für eine Waffe? Was ist das? Was? Stasis, Akkus? Noch was? Ich will die Handcannon haben.
Ah, kein Land außerhalb. Was war das?
Bro, ich werde so grinden die Woche.
Da, 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 da.
All right, that gives us
Ja, Mann, der Geile. Ja, Mann.
And here to help us go ahead and explore a little bit more of it.
Er mit dem Bart, geil. Ich mag den Typ. Warte, was gerade gezeigt wurde, ist das die Edge of Fate oder jetzt für Ritual der Neuen?
Das ist jetzt Age of Fate. Ich glaube, das mit heute, das kommt später.
So. Ah, das ist schon geil, Junge.
Yeah, I'm art director on Edge of Fate. I work with the art team to visualize the narrative and design and kind of bring it all together.
It's a lot to bring together. Thank you very much for being here today. So, with the Edge of Fate,
Ich meine, das ist schon.
first expansion in the Fate Saga. Allison, I'd love to start with
Heute
you.
soll so ein Überbrückungsevent kommen. Bis zum.
Ja.
And we are invited
Zum Release.
a very specific group of people to a location, to a moment in time.
Ja, Bro, schon so lange dabei. Ja.
Ja, seit
Das ist richtig.
The Taken King
Yes.
ist er dabei.
The place that we're going to is called Kepler. And so you may be saying, now Allison, hold your horses
You read
1
my mind.
second,
Yeah.
because the Kepler I know is the one that's way outside of our galaxy.
Ja, meine ich ja.
We're going to Kepler, and I say, like, dear friends,
Aber wenn er dabei ist, dann ist es eigentlich immer perfekt. Also irgendwie, keine Ahnung.
solar system, you'll find a little planetoid that also happens to be named Kepler here in the world of Destiny. And that's where we're going, to Kepler.
Wo hält eigenhändig die zwei im Leben?
Das ist true.
Das ist true, ja.
So what you're seeing here is us just trying something new. We're expanding the universe of Destiny, creating new mysteries to uncover. This whole destination is about exploring a labyrinthian world that took inspirations from things like Dreaming City, exotic missions, dungeons, and it's wrapping it all through a Metroidvania experience. And so at the heart of all of this, at the heart of the Edge of Fate, is a player-driven exploration and discovery of an exotic world with brand new abilities.
So actually to even just maybe dig a little bit deeper, like how is the Edge of
Okay.
Fate gonna be different from past expansions that we've made for Destiny?
Yeah, so at the global scale, when we're thinking about expansions and the Year of Prophecy and the formula of Destiny expansions going forward, first off, we're doing 2 expansions a year instead of just 1. And think of each of these expansions as a little bigger than something like Rise of Iron from D1. And so both of these expansions combined
What is
are
this?
going to be even more expansion content than we've done in the past. And by delivering 2 of these a year, we're upping the pace of major world
Ja, einfach Iron Man.
that really matter to players and are going to be pushing the Fate saga forward. And so we're trying radical new things.
Achso, die können jetzt fliegen?
Ja.
Noch mehr Fliegeteile. Oh,
Geil. Ich hab nicht genug von den
Noch mehr
Viechern.
Fliegeteile im Game reinbringen. Ja, Mann.
And World Tiers allow you to take on a higher level of challenge on the destination in order to extract some of the best loot within the release. But
Das Aim war gerade anders. Also,
through the first couple of World Tiers, you're going to unlock later World Tiers. And as
also ich will auch fliegen.
as you're exploring the world more, as you're discovering more within the release, you're putting these
Auch so ein Anzug.
pieces together,
Ja.
figuring out how to solve
Am Ende bekommen wir so einen Iron Man
ways. And so you might
Anzug
do
einfach.
a puzzle in one way, a mission in one way, and when you're in these higher world tiers in the post game, you can start to
Das wirkt mit dem Aim.
And so alongside all of this, we're also going to have a ton of quest content that we're rethinking about how we use within the game. And so on Kepler, there's some non-linearity within the destination itself. And so with a lot of our side quest content that is related to the critical path, but you don't have to play it. It's there for you to explore. It's driven by your discovery of the world. You're out in the field.
Das ist true. Das will ich einfach auch sagen.
Das war sein erstes Shooter-Game.
that story. And so, yeah, again, this is all about us just looking at the formulas that we've been building in Destiny over the last 10 years. And some of them are really strong, but they're due for some experimentation and some
Einfach anschleichen.
the first taste of the Edge of Fate.
Kuckuck.
Yeah.
I love everything you just said. I was a little distracted by some of the gameplay we were showing, like exotic sniper rifle. I think I saw, kind of recognize that.
Oh yeah.
Some enemies with a really cool tail. Okay, but then also there was a guardian that turned into like a lightning bolt.
Yeah. So there's multiple new abilities that your players are going to be able to discover on Kepler that's going to make them navigate and look at the world in different ways. But the one you're talking about, Dylan, we see it as our premier ability, the crown jewel to release, and that's called Matter Spark. And Dave has joined us, and he's helps us take the vision of the narrative and the design and the art and smush it together.
Wie lang geht der Stream? Bis 19 oder länger?
Bis 19 müsste der gehen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Ungefähr.
there's this new source of energy on Kepler, this strange dark matter.
Ich liebe diesen Typen.
Ist echt so.
The Guardian binds itself to the dark matter using the arc powers within. You can think of the dark matter as like a medium and the arc.
Du siehst das auch.
that will like
Fuck.
Du siehst das auch, ne?
transforming
Huh?
matter spark to squeeze into tight areas, race around areas, jump over stuff.
Was ist das?
Electric rolling ball of death, jolting and shocking enemies.
Wie geil.
Obviously, one big part movement, one big part combat, but I mean, even just in addition to that, to look a little bit, wider, like how did the Matter Spark?
Ach, die kannst du dann auch aufladen, die Sachen.
You know, the team really had to rethink what it means to build a destination with these abilities in mind.
Nee, ich glaube, das ist so ein All-Dings. Und Klasse, glaube ich nicht, das ist eine neue. Also,
Nee, das ist nur auf dem Planet Kepler verfügbar.
ach so, um High zu werden, muss man wieder so eine Kacke zerdrücken, ne? Ah, okay.
Mm.
As well we should.
Nee, Warlock haben die ja jetzt einfach nur gezeigt, glaube ich.
Out there as well.
Yeah, so each of these Kepler abilities are a mix of dark matter and our Guardian's powers. So we have the relocator cannon,
Bisschen weird, die ist da.
this new fallen dark matter tech
Ah.
with
Erstmal.
can allow you to bypass laser walls, use these cascading relay networks,
Eine neue
LOL.
Strand-Granate?
Another
Oder
ability that we
irgendwas.
have is Mattermorph. This is dark matter mixed with strands.
Da, siehst du, Tie-In.
Manipulate the environment. You'll be able to basically push and
Lol.
move geometry to create bridges.
Das
open up doorways,
ist einfach so
GTS, ja.
neues
Really important about what Dave is describing, and when we're thinking about building this world,
Bewegungsmittel, Alter. Scheiß auf Sparrow, Junge.
way and solve little puzzles and mysteries throughout the missions, the free roam, and the quest content, and beyond. But also, what was really important to us is that we lean into Destiny's first-class ability gameplay. And so, with Matterspark, like Dave is mentioning, you're jumping, you're dashing into enemies to destroy them, you're doing giant explosions with them. With the Relocator Clan, and you're just blowing everything up with void explosions and graviton lance style, like projectile, little secret projectiles. And then what's really fun about Mattermorph is you can just be like throwing these strange groupings basically to just like delete an encounter before you then like start to morph the environment around you and move to the next area. And so it's just really exciting I'm incredibly excited about watching players just like solve puzzles and fight encounters in ways that like we don't even expect yet, and see how they take on the destination. And just like I really want to emphasize, you're going to be upgrading these, and when you get into especially the post-game experience, it's going to there's something unlocks with Matterspark that really changes the way that you can play through the entire destination.
So when we're talking about dark matter,
Yes.
we have darkness abilities like Strand and Stasis already. Like, how is dark matter different?
Yeah, so dark matter and darkness are two completely separate things. They're completely different things. But dark matter does exist in our world.
Loch
In the
Ness
world
oder
of Destiny,
Darkness?
we know it as being tightly
Loch Ness.
The Nine are actually made out of.
Erstmal wie Phineas und Ferb da unter Wasser war das bauen.
It's very fun to make a destination where there's an invisible thing that you can't actually see. So lucky for us on
Ja,
Kepler,
bei dem Planeten
there's a
brechen meine
biological
FPS
device,
ein, I guess.
that allows us to see all of this substance that's
Geht so,
impacted this
glaub.
world so much. It allows us to see how it's impacted the plant.
Solange dein PC Marathon standhält.
The peoples that we're going to encounter. And we can see how it has been able to bring these things that are kind of unstuck in time into this current location.
I do have to put on my drifter hat for just a second and, like, what does it smell like? What does it taste like?
Yeah. Dark matter smells and tastes like bleach and math. Yeah, it's true.
Cannot wait to get that chip flavor.
Yeah.
Get it with a sandwich today after.
It's zesty.
Yeah, it's really good. Actually, so on the topic too of stuff in the trailer as well, we heard someone talking there. Can you tell us who that was?
Sure, that was Lodi. Lodi is a new character that we're introducing in Apollo. Not in Apollo, we're introducing him in the
Okay, neuer unnötiger
special shout out to Brian
NPC.
Villalobos, who portrays Lodi and does a spectacular job. This character is fascinating. He's kind of a fish out of water, but the fun thing about tropes is to kind of put a twist on them, right? So what if that fish that we pulled out of the water was the most qualified fish to be pulled out into the air?
Down for anything.
It's down for anything.
Yeah.
And what if that fish was kind of made to be pulled out of the water? I don't want to give away too much because this character is way more fun for the players to figure out what his deal is, but I will say that Lodi is very, very far from home.
Very fair, very exciting. So,
I do have to call out too, before we started this, you and Robbie were talking about how Lodi is like a notice
Werbung.
character.
Oh yeah. Robbie wanted a senpai.
I did. I wanted someone that I just wanted to spend a bunch of time with on this new adventure we're going on.
Yeah, a friend that we can look up to.
Yeah.
right, yeah. Notice me.
Notice
Notice
me,
me.
Lodi.
Yeah, of course,
He
it
will,
writes
he
itself,
will.
or rather, Allison does. So, with regards to the characters as well, so is it a whole new cast of characters in the Edge of Fate?
No, we're going to see some new faces like Lodi and other characters, but we're also going to see some familiar ones too. Ikora is here. The stakes are high enough that she's here investigating what's going on. And as it turns out, in one of our major mysteries, she's kind of at the center of it. She was invited here, as was Lodi, same as we were. All of it's kind of tied together.
Very exciting. So,
Yeah, the way. If I can.
No, no,
yeah,
please.
no, yeah.
Please,
Like
yeah.
the way we think about this is about all these characters. Their fates are intertwined in some way. There's these puppet masters that have been pulling the strings for a very, very long time in order for everyone to get here at this moment. And so, as a guardian and these characters involved, they're going to have to decide if they're fight your fate. Like that's what we think about. For these individuals, that's what they're going to have to go through and determine about how they can stand up to this new conflict that is surrounded by the Nine, because they are fated to be here. And what does that mean for them, and what does that mean for their future and the future of Soul itself?
So with regard to these new characters and this world we find ourselves in, was there anything about that setting, or in particular, that really influenced the creation, rather, of this world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, I'll give you a list of fun facts. First off, if you've been paying attention to Destiny over the last week or so, you already know that there's been people on Kepler for a long time. That's an old-ass computer that you were putting those numbers into. We also know that the Vex are here. They're studying the Nine because it turns out the Nine can do something that the Vex can't. As Dave mentioned, the House of Exile are also here. They've become fixated on a being that they call Hüter. And, kind of most importantly, the dimensionality on Kepler is really thin. So the 3 dimensions that we can know and see and touch are very close to the realm that the Nine live in. And that means some things from Earth's past have been yanked into Kepler's present.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, so we've been talking about invitations throughout this, and we need to call out an invitation that's actually going to be waiting in the game after this is over. Ride of the Nine begins today.
Yeah.
So I believe we have a trailer to show.
Yeah, you were nice to bring a trailer along. I'll go ahead and give it a look really quickly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm. Für alle Spieler.
Säule, okay.
Oha.
Digga, what is this? Digga, krieg grad so fett Gänsehaut, ne? Ah?
Ja,
So
das.
that's Ride of the Nine, which is our essential prologue story for the Edge of Fate. And these 3 dungeons that are featured in this event are free for all players starting today. And so what's really important
Das stimmt, Leon, aber irgendwie ist Kleefeld PvP gerade sehr vertreten.
in these places a lot, but also new guardians who have never stepped into a dungeon before, right? What was really important for us when we were developing Ride of the Nine was that we are changing the formula on how we can think about how we can welcome even more people into these experiences. And so you're gonna be able to go in solo, buffed up, and explore a dungeon by yourself, or go in match made with other fire team members shoulder to shoulder for the very first time. But don't worry, because we also have that higher level challenge for our veteran, our hardcore dungeon crawlers, where you're going to be able to earn the best possible loot, exclusive rewards, and also an exclusive title as part of Rights of the Nine. What's also really important about this event for being a prologue for the Edge of Fate is that it really reintroduces
neuer Hub
into the game, and you're going to learn why her job is pretty crappy, and why she quits at the top of the Edge of Fate, like we saw at the beginning of this show. And so, Andy, we've been talking a bunch about how our Destiny expansions are changing the formula for Destiny going forward. So now I think it's time for us to start talking about how the core hobby of Destiny is changing going forward. The day-to-day of playing Destiny, week-over-week experience. And we've got someone else on the couch here to help us talk about that.
We have an expert in that very subject now who has gone ahead and joined us on the couch. We are now joined by the one and only Mr. Ben Womack, creative director here on Destiny. Ben, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, seriously.
There is a lot.
Yeah,
in 40 Sekunden ist
conversation we have coming up. But before we get into that, can you tell us
kurz Werbung.
what you do here?
Yeah.
Leider.
So I'm the Destiny 2 creative director for the core game, or the core hobby, as we call it.
Yeah.
And it has to do with all parts of the game, everything from Edge of Fate, through our seasons, through the fundamental systems. And in particular, like Rob was saying, I've been focusing on
Sonst gibt die Werbung.
the kind of building blocks of Destiny 2.
Ah ja,
getting those,
ja.
like, not only stood up, but also
Für die nächsten 5
iterating
Minuten,
on it,
aber
which is
dann
really exciting new
ist
places.
leider.
Let's go ahead and just start at the top. Can you tell us a little bit about what the core formula of Destiny is changing and why?
Yes, so I think I need to start with the why first, because it's important to think about what is Destiny, what is great about Destiny. And Destiny is best when you have awesome chases that you're excited about, you have really cool, powerful builds to make, and there's a mountain to climb that's right in front of you that you want to climb. You're like, I want that mountain, it looks pretty cool. And the thing that is not always true right now in Destiny is it doesn't feel streamlined as it could. Players don't have as much agency. We want to be player driven. We want to be more rewarding than we are. Because right now there are barriers to playing Destiny like in the best way. And those barriers are insurmountable sometimes. So think about that whole picture of, okay, what is the Destiny that we really want, that has been in the past, that we also want to get back to, and where we want to go for the future? That's where all the changes you're going to see have started, like at their inception point. So it's a big piece of the pie.
Massive updates coming across so many systems of the game, and this is like we're just getting in, digging into the surface.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, to that same end, then, how are we making it easier? Pardon me, to go ahead and just get straight into the fun.
Oh no, let's do it, because that's exactly what we want to do. And the first thing you're going to see when you log into Destiny with Edge of Fate, you're going to log in your character and see your ship in orbit. It's going to say, it's not going to say open director, it's going to say open portal. And the portal is our new front page of the game. We're trying to get you to the fun as fast as possible and as few clicks as we can. We even have Edge of Fate there in the corner, so it's right immediately there. No fumbling around with the map to get to it, really. And we're also taking other big parts of the game, the ritual game and for seasons, and putting them into these ops categories. So the idea is that we're having these different ops for different moods. We're having solo ops. We have a bunch of fire team ops. We have pinnacle ops, and of course we have crucible ops. Still super important for the game.
Yeah. I mean, to start up at the top, can you tell us a little bit more about what solo ops is?
Oh, yeah. So solo ops is exactly what it says on the tin. It is a bunch of activities that are made for solo players. And the conception point of that was we want to make activities for players who have a smaller amount of time that they want to play in, and they don't necessarily want to have dependencies on other players, but they still want to get in there in 15 minutes. And get some real progress.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah.
Get some loot and get your character forward and feel like, I played some Destiny, that was great. And even if you don't feel like playing with other people, that's fine, because we have an activity type that is designed for one player.
Excellent. So, I mean, to that same end, what are some other ways that we can play and have fun using Portal as well?
Yeah, so Robbie actually has a great way of talking about this. So.
Yeah, some of the North Star that is what we talk about when we were developing the Portal early on was where are we headed with this thing? And ultimately,
Ja, dachte ich gerade auch wegen Orbit.
More agency, more personal drive to figure out how they want to engage with the power climb and the new progression systems coming and our seasons. And so the entirety new progression and power climb is now all available to you in the Portal at your fingertips in one place. It's really easy to find, really easy to jump in. Anything you play inside of that category any of those categories is gonna help you make progress. And so, because we want Destiny to be welcoming not only to new players, but also old players who are coming back to the game to join us with the Edge of Fate. And we also want this to be like a new even playing field for everyone. And so, as part of this is a commitment from us as part of the core hobby and all the seasonal content we're building, that we're going to be continually investing in this, right? We're going to be continually updating this over time for years to come. And so, you're asking me directly, what else is there to do?
Yeah.
Ben mentioned solo ops. We also have the fire team ops and pinnacle ops. Both these are more around playing with other fire team members, shoulder to shoulder, where fire team ops are more quicker sessions. There are some longer form things in it too, but then pinnacle ops are more about those really long form or more challenging kind of focused activities like exotic missions, for instance. And so, and then the one thing we haven't talked about yet very deeply, but is incredibly important, and it's something that I think we've done for the first time ever, or maybe since early D1.
It's kind of a return to form.
Yeah. You're going to be able to experience the entirety of the power climb within Crucible Ops by playing PvP, right? So this means if you want to be sweaty, Andy, which I know you, Dylan, too. I know you're that way, right? I know both of y'all. If you want to put those sweatbands on, you're going to be able to play the entire experience in the season here and earn some of the highest tier loot that's also available in the game.
I have to say, this is super
Ich finde schade, dass sie den Orbit nicht gelassen haben.
Other folks out in the community, they want to go in, they want to jam on PvP, but then their friends invite them to do a dungeon or a higher tier activity.
Ja, vielleicht bist du ja noch im Orbit, weil die können das ja nicht einfach wegmachen. Haben ja gesagt, du bist mit deinem Schiff und dann gehst du auf Open Director und dann bist du im Portal. I guess. Weil ohne Orbit, weiß nicht, machen die das Game wieder kaputt.
Ja.
Oh yeah, that's important to us.
Yeah. So,
That's important to us.
Well, death, but also success.
Yes,
and
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we really want to give agency. That's one of the things. Player driven towards loot and challenge. And so we have a really hugely expanded activity customization system. We have a lot more difficulty levels, and we have a ton of new modifiers. We have 50 new modifiers along with all the old modifiers that we've released in the past that are going to make this big curated web of options for you to experience.
Ultimate jetzt.
Wird die Power wieder runtergesetzt?
So, we have Banes, not just old Banes,
wahrscheinlich.
new veins as well. We also have boons to help you like.
Finde ich aber auch gut, weil sonst
Ja, der
ist.
hat Power Level 2000 irgendwas, Junge.
Also bei denen. Sorry, aber das ist einfach zu viel. Also, finde ich.
It's actually gonna change the way you play and be pretty interesting and sometimes be the way you prefer you play. Like there's a new boon.
Kann jeder anders sehen, aber ich sehe so.
Loves kind of my preferred way to play, where they give you 3 grapple grenades, replacing your current grenade. You can't do the melee, but they recharge super fast. So any build you want, you could now Spider-Man around any map. It's actually super fun.
It's so fun. Yeah, and I mean, like, what's at the heart of what Ben is talking about is what we kind of call the virtuous cycle, right? Where you're going to be crafting your build, tinkering with the activity, looking at like how you can earn a higher tier of reward by taking on higher challenge. And as you earn better loot, you're looking towards that next mountain to climb just ahead of you all the time. And so this is really about how far you want
Ja,
to push yourself upwards.
aber was willst du machen?
Portal itself. But also, we also are thinking about the people, and that's the depth, right? That's the depth of the challenge that we're talking about. That's also, but we're also thinking about the people who don't have as much time to play with like solo ops, and also if you're scared of modifiers or you're scared of customizing these
Or
activities,
you just don't feel
or
like
you just don't feel like
today.
doing it. Yeah, no, that's a great way to describe it. Thank you. We have a bunch of quick play options, right, Ben?
Yeah, quick play options, and we actually have matchmaking and fire team ops.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And we have fire team finder, and so you're able to like really choose kind of what you're in the mood for.
Oh yeah, we
you know?
technically have matchmaking across every activity that exists.
Except for solo.
Fire Team Finder, was auch jeder nutzt.
Yeah. But in the fire team,
Free.
everything.
You'll have options to play by yourself or with other people. Oh, actually, a really fun part is you can play a strike by yourself as hard as you want it to
That's
now,
true, yeah,
which is
yeah.
really fun. Yeah.
Well, you're talking about like all the different boons and combinations. I think at one point you were saying around 50 or something like that. Those
50 new
apply
ones.
50 new ones.
Yeah.
So it's like you can take those into solo ops. Like we're talking about this being kind of leisurely, bite-sized activity. But if you want to take it and say, I don't want Weenie Hut Jr., I want like esoteric level solo hardest thing in the world. Like you can kind of customize and do that.
You can just do it from the very start if you really want to.
Yeah.
And
Depends on how deep you want to go.
Yeah.
Really.
Er bringt Esoterik ins
The
Spiel.
point is that you're
Geiler
trying to
Typ.
push that far, and we want the reward to feel like worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to feel like as you're pushing yourself, you are rewarded for it. That is something that's really important to the vision here for the portal. Yeah, very exciting.
Rewards.
Goofy Bot bannen.
Rewards.
Spaß.
A lot of rewards, aren't there?
It's funny you mentioned it. Yeah, you know, we've got veins, boons, modifiers, but let's talk about gear for a little bit here.
Yeah.
What's changing about loot and why should Guardians care?
Yeah, so like talking about, chases and mountains and builds, like gear's at the center of all of that. And we actually have 2 giant gear changes I'm gonna like put in 2 little buckets for us to talk about.
Yep.
The first one is armor 3.0.
Werbung.
The next one is gear tiers. And so like talking about armor 3.0 first, we are probably making the biggest change ever since Shadowkeep.
It's
around the
huge.
system. It's
Yeah,
enormous.
Aha.
Yeah, so like we're adding set
Oh,
bonuses.
neue
This is a long
Stats.
requested feature for all the new armor.
Digga, ist das.
At Edge of Fate launch.
Was ist das denn da
And
unten?
all the stats on armor
Wie schnell
Plus
man.
Heilungsboost?
exceed 100.
Go beyond.
Beyond 100.
Hier.
Extra bonuses.
Yep.
We're gonna every single piece of new legendary armor that drops is going to have all the energy filled in, so you can build crafting right away. And it's going to essentially like there's more features actually that I could talk about, but I don't think I'm allowed to yet.
Aber finde ich aber auch
Something that we
gut so. Also, weiß ich nicht. Also, das mit Belastbarkeit und so weiter, das haben wir ja schon seit 7 Jahren. Nervt halt irgendwann und dann.
After final blow with a rocket or grenade launcher, sprint for a short time to gain speed booster.
In einer Minute kommt Werbung, ich kann die nicht mehr skippen.
Yeah, what's going on with the energy there?
Yeah, their energy.
Ben?
Yeah, that energy says 11,
Ah,
and
so
it's
it goes to
true.
11.
Yep.
It's not a typo. Like energy is going to 11 for higher tier armor, and so if you want that for your build crafting opportunities, it does like give you some options you never had before. You're gonna have to challenge yourself to get more higher tier armor and keep on going to get yet more higher tier.
Aber die meinten doch irgendwie, dass sie die Mods und so weiter nochmal überarbeiten wollen.
Weapons, they're obviously getting their own refresh as well.
Yes, yes.
What's Destiny without chasing some?
You read my mind.
Yeah, like weapons
seriously.
are part of the player identity. You know, some people like have a gun that they love.
You
and
got fashion, and then you have gunplay,
that's
right?
true, though we do have fashion for your guns a bit.
Hey.
well, so because once you reach tier 5 for your legendary drops, you're going to be getting tier 5 weapons, and those have unique shader treatment. It's like essentially a completely different look that's going to immediately identify it to you and others that this is the highest of this drop that you can get. It's going to show on the weapon. It's going to show
Einfach alles
it's even going to show
Masterworken.
you kill enemies with that weapon because there's unique kill effects for tier 5 weapons that you can turn on or off if you don't want it, but your gameplay will like show that no, yeah, the weapon that is being used is like the highest tier you can get.
Yeah, Giver's Blessing, which I think we have on screen right now. This is one of the Kepler.
Einfach alle meine Craftwaffen direkt hochziehen. Let's go.
What's really exciting about it for me is that like when you see that tier 5 drop, like you know immediately that's better than like a tier 3 or tier 4 weapon that you have, right? And I think that's when we talk about making Destiny easier to just jump in, find the fun, make it accessible, but also create more depth. You know, this is what we're thinking about. It's like how can we just make immediate, like you understand, like okay, this is probably better than the thing I have right now, depending on what gear tier it is.
Yeah, I mean that's a good example of how much time and effort is being put into these game systems to make them more like approachable. Change can be scary. There's a lot of change that's about to come to the game. We're Armor 3.0, we have so many new boons, we have a bunch of new stuff. And after 10 years of Destiny, this is going to flip some stuff on its head. So, I mean, we're going to have a bunch of blog content. We're going to have interviews with Robbie, with Ben, with more folks across the team that have been working on this. And then we'll also be elevating our creator community when they're creating guides, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a fun time. But ultimately, a big shout out and thank you to all the folks that have been coming into our studio, giving feedback early on some of these systems so they can be more approachable. And we're looking forward to all the feedback that's going to be coming after launch too. Like this is again one of our first steps into something, and then the community and we are going to build something amazing.
And I can't stress enough how much feedback we've gotten from the community summits we've been running over the last year for the Edge of Fate, and just people reaching out to the community teams and others to us. Like your feedback is invaluable. So like seriously, like thank you so much. We're making this game together ultimately.
Yeah, it's incredibly important part of the process. Like I don't think we would be able to make what we do without it.
Working with the community is obviously a core part. Dylan, huge thanks to you and your team, obviously, for helping to lead that conversion.
Raid to the Wolf _26. Also 26, no, no.
I think, Ben, you were saying you wanted to try to break the record for longest time.
Oder ungefilterte.
The more predicting we are.
Yeah. So,
well, it's not about try, it's the state of things.
It's going to be a multi-month journey as we head towards launch. So.
Yeah, it'd be a good time. But you know, we've been talking a lot about the core Destiny hobby. How does that extend into like how players are going to experience like a full year of Destiny?
Yeah, so we've been focusing on improving and changing the formula of Destiny in multiple ways. And so progressing through the Fate Saga is going to be more meaningful with 2 expansions a year. We've been talking about how focusing our seasons and on the core hobby of Destiny and that
Renegades,
updating it. And in addition, we're going to have 2 free major updates between each of our major expansions coming in the year of Prophecy and beyond. And so ultimately that means there's 4 big beats happening in a year, 2 expansions, 2 free major updates between those expansions. So what that means we're not doing is paid seasonal content anymore. We're not doing separate seasonal storylines. And this also means we're not building a bunch of activity content that basically just goes away and is less meaningful to the game after 3 months. So we're instead focusing all of that effort that used to go there instead into building up the core hobby of the game so the core hobby stays fresh and exciting, you know, year round. And so ultimately, this means no more paywalls for seasonal content, and also these major updates themselves that I'm signposting around right now. The size of them, roughly, and the inspiration for them, we're thinking about is like Into the Light.
Okay. So when you say like Into the Light, for folks that aren't out there, like what for a major update? How big is that? Like how do you encapsulate that?
So when I say Into the Light, a lot of this is like the inspiration of what it was. And with Into the Light came a really cool theme that wrapped around all the new stuff we were building within it, but also a lot of the reprise stuff as well. And also, you know, with it came Onslaught, a new type of activity. It came with reprised exotic missions and a rethinking of how we could do like a rad style event, a raid event with the Pantheon. And so for our first major update coming a few weeks after the Edge of Fate launches, we've got Ash and Iron. Right? And so with Ash and Iron, we're going to be returning to the Plague Lands.
Returning to the Plague Lands, can't wait.
It's going to happen.
Lands, baby.
And so that story is going to pick up from where we left off from the Edge of Fate. And with it, we're going to have a new activity called Reclaim, a brand new exotic mission, new types of pinnacle ops entering that for the first time, as well as, of course, what's Destiny without loot to chase? We've got new gear, new rewards, and 2 new exotic weapons as part of Ash and Iron as well. And again, this major update and the season, all the seasonal content going forward is free for all players. All the activity content that exists in the portal, that's free to play.
Very nice. So even to actually go 1 quick layer 2 deeper on seasons as well, what are some of the cool things that we're going to be able to do with the season that's launching alongside the Edge of Fate?
Yeah, Ben has been working on this space with the team for a while now, so I'm going to kick this one to him.
Yeah, so we're trying to make any time the best time to hop into Destiny. You know, and one of the ways we want to do that is want to invest in events that are like accelerating the game and enhancing every part of the game, but also bringing new cool stuff. And actually, we've been working on this so long, we actually have some new cool stuff coming before the Edge of Fate.
A special treat.
Yeah, special treat. So this
Right.
Friday, you can play a
Ja.
little event. Maybe you've heard of it called Heavy Metal. It's tanks versus
Heavy Metal.
PvP.
Was
It's super fun.
Was?
I wish I was playing it right
Wie
now.
geil!
Aber dass sie das wirklich Heavy Metal
Digga,
genannt haben.
das sieht nach Spaß aus.
Titanfall in Destiny. Digga, was ist das für ein Scheißteil?
There's some really cool build crafting things with this vehicle that I don't want to spoil right now that you'll discover, but I'm super excited for it.
They all thought they were going to ride those skimmers forever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been saying, like, what was it? Skimmer is Flash and the Griffin is Splash.
Hey, there we go. The dad joke quota has been met.
We got to get one in.
Absolutely, yeah. But that's not all, right, man? Like, you've got more for us, don't you?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So
Einfach Roboter in Destiny vor GTA 6. Heilige Scheiße.
Nee, kein Titanfall 3, sondern Titanfall in Destiny.
Ja.
This one is going to give you a new legendary weapon of that type. It's gonna have some volatile mods that are
Okay, ne?
for the week that are gonna be super interesting and fun to play with.
Okay.
You can do, but you know,
Oh Gott,
there's
that's
a
small.
problem when you say this event is going to be about weapons and about using them.
Yeah, you gotta have a place to test all that out.
Right, and
Yeah,
so I mean, I've been doing that in EDZ this whole time. I don't know about the rest of you,
Those poor drags.
right?
Yeah.
But there is a new way now. We have a new feature, a long-requested feature that is being added to the game with Arms Week. It is the shooting range, and the shooting range is being
Oha.
added to the tower. It is now permanent.
Digga,
With the launch of Arms Week, we're not taking it
wurde auch mal Zeit, dass sie
Boah, was
das...
soll das bringen?
everything in your kit, everything about your build. With
Viele haben sich das gewöhnt schon, um irgendwie Schaden zu testen. Und
it's all real damage numbers. It's like
It's even got a scoreboard.
it's even got a
For
scoreboard
you
right there.
and your fire team.
Yeah, your whole raid team can go down into the shooting range and try out, like, see exactly how well you can
Digga, da macht doch gar nichts.
some kind of boss at this range or
I was
with
gonna
a
say, yeah,
strategy.
who can do most of the damage, right?
Yeah, well, you're finally gonna know.
So we have a rally flag. It's not just a shooting range. Like, you can go beyond the firing line and use your abilities too.
Yeah, you totally can.
gegen Mitrax. Einfach.
And pop transcendence and try that out. And you know, well, I think the reason why we're not seeing that right now is because it's a Titan.
Yeah, it's a good soldier.
Yeah, they,
Standing on that firing line.
yeah, staying on the-
Tittentown.
All about building that line and standing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
A lot of theory crafters are going to have to go ahead and have some upheavals to their Google Docs, I'm guessing.
This will be a really good tool. Like, as
Leaflet
we're
ist
adding
das
all
doch
these
nicht so
different
bad.
systems with gear tiering and all of that, you can go in and check those damage numbers in real time. Like,
So auch, glaube Dings
different gear bonuses
machen.
gonna
Also so
gameplay. You can see it in the tower now.
And
Builds testen.
Oh yeah,
got
well,
one
you
more thing, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
there's one more thing. And
Yeah.
you're excited. So you know, there's more events. Of course, there's more events, and the holiday events are coming up. Where Solstice is right around the corner.
It's
as well.
summertime, right?
It's summertime. Summertime is solstice time in Destiny 2. And Solstice has some really cool twists and such that we're planning, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I want to show you all the new hollow foil treatment we have for Solstice weapons. So here we go. This is
Digga, was ist das denn?
in 2025.
Lol.
It is it's
good.
amazing every time I look at it.
Yeah.
It is an ocean
On a
and
gun.
the line. Yeah, we put the ocean on a gun. How did we do that? It's beautiful. I love it. And any kind of weapon that drops during this event can have a hollow foil.
Yeah,
no
so it
matter
could be
what the
tier 1 or tier 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, any
exactly.
weapon can have a hollow foil.
Yeah, the
playing field.
like the tier 5 hollow foil.
Ooh.
You know, like that's gonna be a chase. Our other events.
Neue Kooperation mit Fortnite. Das Spaß.
Every event, a major event we have, will have a hollow foil treatment. The holidays will have their own kind of special one, but yeah, Arms will have their hollow foil drops that you can farm as well.
Super exciting. No, it's going to be a good time. I'm going to have way too much stuff to chase down, so appreciate you guys putting all the hard work in.
Guardian down.
But I believe we've got one more thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot about here are the free updates coming to Destiny, the portal, a bunch of different stuff, Edge of Fate, but we also have another expansion, and we need Allison back on the couch to talk about
Right,
it.
yeah, Allison.
She's the best one to talk
Yeah,
There we go.
we've got something very exciting, and so once again, Allison, thank you for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it.
Of course. I'm so excited to be the one more thing.
Yeah, it's a tradition around here, so we're glad that you could obviously go ahead.
Eine Sache
One
kommt noch.
But,
more
you know, as
thing,
Dylan mentioned,
guys.
We talked about the Edge of Fate, but this is the first year we're going to be doing 2 expansions
Yeah.
over the course of a year. can you tell us a little bit about Renegades?
Yeah, so we're going to have a dedicated reveal for Renegades in September alongside our major update, Ash and Iron. But earlier we were talking about how sometimes our formulas can constrain us from experimenting and innovating. And so in that spirit, Renegades is going to be very different from the Edge of Fate. What I can tell you, and we'll talk plenty about it later, is that we're going to be experimenting and innovating with activities, with social mechanics, and more. But more importantly, I want to talk about our inspiration. And so I have to kind of tee it up first. So Renegades is going to be a Destiny, like definitively Destiny expansion. This is part of the Fate Saga, and it's going to push it forward in important ways and introduce characters that we're going to spend time with for years to come. It is an essential Fate Saga story, and it's an homage to a universe that has inspired Bungie from the start. It's a universe that all of us here on the couch grew up with, as well as everyone else at the studio, and millions of you back at home, too. It is a peanut butter and combination, a peanut butter and like chocolate combination inside of what we're making that could only be possible in the kind of world that we build here. And so I am absolutely thrilled to be able to give our first sneak peek at Destiny 2 Renegades.
Let's take a look.
Okay. Let him cook. Let him cook.
Was?
No. Oh.
Star Wars. Oh mein Gott. Alter. Ist das geil, Digga. Ayo. Das habe ich nicht kommen sehen. Das habe ich nicht kommen sehen.
He's fucking cooking. What?
Einfach, weißt du, Lukas-Film halt macht nicht mal eigene Games, aber Destiny und Fortnite.
Digga. Kann ich Renegades im Sommer kommen?
Echt so.
Mann.
Aber es kommt im September schon. Also von der...
Das ist der Reveal, das kommt erst Dezember.
Ja.
September ist der Reveal.
Super excited to share more of that in the future, but that actually leads us to the conclusion of today's show, which again we covered a lot.
Digga, sind die am Kochen. Digga, what?
Innerlich dachte ich so, Serie? Spaß. Weil es halt so hochwertig war, weißt du?
Ich höre so das Stapfen, ich so, das ist doch bestimmt Star Wars, das ist 100% Star Wars, das kann nichts anderes sein. Das Geräusch erkenne ich von einem Stormtrooper oder sowas. Junge.
Junge, kann das nicht direkt da sein, Mann?
Ich kann noch einmal Werbung skippen, Chat, für 5 Minuten. Und dann muss ich aber die 3 Minuten Werbung durchlaufen lassen. Also, ja. Sorry dafür. Dann habt ihr eine Stunde komplett Ruhe.
Hallo, Lolli. Vieles.
Du hast... Digga, du bist... Nein, keine Werbung. Ich habe gerade geskippt, die Werbung. Beruhig dich. Ich habe die gerade geskippt.
The Edge of Fate and the entire Year of Prophecy pre-orders are available starting right now. Now, pre-ordering for starters, the Ultimate Edition will go ahead and unlock the New Land Beyond.
New Land Beyond, that exotic sniper. Ooh, I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Du hast sehr viel verpasst, Loli.
That'll be unlockable in addition to several other goodies and also
Destiny.
also got a collector's edition available.
Digga.
Destiny wird
Digga.
besser. Destiny
Hast du gesehen,
besser.
was für Skins, also Ornamente da kommen?
Mhm.
Ach komm.
The writing team got a little excited on this one. We put a lot of lore goodies into this collector's edition. So like that weird metal thing, that weird envelope, boy, weird. Wonder what's up with that.
Just decorative
You should
points?
probably read it. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do a dramatic reading as soon as
Yeah, we
we're
should
done.
go downstairs immediately after
It's
this.
really
Oh yeah, right after this.
Count me in. And then again, too, as far as today goes, Rite of the Nine. This is the essential prologue to the Edge of Fate, and like all of our events moving forward, is going to be a free to all players. So make sure and go ahead and check that out when that arrives. And before the show wraps up, make sure and stick around for a little bit longer. We're going to be rating our good friend Sammy Cat as well. So go ahead and give her a follow. Tell her we said hello in chat. Pardon me. If you have any Twitch Prime subs or anything like that,
Sammy
do us a
Cat?
favor,
Kenn ich gar nicht. Wer ist Sammy Cat?
and check out her stream. She's going to be having a good time. But that concludes it for us here today. So for starters, huge thanks to my teammates here for joining me.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, yeah. Robbie, Alex, Dylan.
Aber bin ich nicht gewaitet. Hallo.
Ist echt so.
Ja, ich will die 111.000.
Dave Samuel, thank you all so much for being here today. And then, of course, to the crew that puts all this on.
Thank you,
This doesn't happen by accident. Thank you all so much for all of your hard work and dealing with me on these last couple of days. And of course, to everyone.
Hey, Luli, hast du schon den neuen GTA 6 Trailer gesehen?
Thank you. It's a tremendous
Was habe ich denn jetzt verpasst? Du hast einiges verpasst. Es kommen neue Erweiterungen, die geisteskrank ist, neue Waffen, die geisteskrank sind, neue Welt, die geisteskrank ist, neues HUD, neue Armor 3.0. Es ist so geisteskrankes in dem Stream passiert. Renegades wird eine Star Wars DLC werden. Und Preis?
Das können wir gleich
also
schon,
ne-
weil die Pre-Order jetzt schon offen sind, eigentlich.
Ja. Schauen wir gleich, Luli, schauen wir gleich. Pre-Order Edge of